Good evening and welcome to the NFL Sportscasters for TRHS Sports. We are previewing Week 7. My name is Chris Klein, joined by my friends Dylan and Tyler. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm all right. Florida State got their butt kicked this afternoon, so
I'm doing pretty good too, but our picks for last week were not good.
Yeah, we could have had better weeks to start off.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why Russell had on this. We're not any good at this. We really sucked. We sucked to high heaven. So,
but I'll just go through them real quick. Chris, you went 8-6.
Ha! That's a winning week, boys.
That is. Dylan, you went 6-8, and I went 4-10.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm coming back this week.
Yeah,
I feel good about this week.
That's what we call a winning week, boys. That's what we call a winning week right there.
10 wins this week. 10.
So, he's calling it. He's calling his shot. I like it. So, So I was 8-6 last week. That's honestly a lot better than I thought I did. Dylan 6-8. Tyler bringing up the rear 4-10. We're gonna keep a tally each week, even if we're not all on the podcast. Just to peek behind the curtain, I will not be on the podcast next week because I will be celebrating Halloween with Mickey and Minnie Mouse. So I will not be on here, but I will still let the boys know what my picks are for next week so we can still keep track when they do them themselves, and they can let everybody know what I do. So let's go ahead and get tonight started with the game that everybody wants to see, the fighting Andy Daltons versus the fighting Kyle Allens. It's a pick 'em. That's how bad these teams are. This is honestly might be a fight for NFC East supremacy. A peek behind the curtain, Philadelphia did beat the New York Giants by the hair of their chinny chin chin on Thursday night. They didn't look great doing it. Giants are a little bit better than I thought they would be. They look a little bit better out without Saquon Barkley. So, which is hard to believe. But they're fighting. But this game is going to be rough. Like we said, Dak Prescott is out for the year. They looked awful against Arizona last week. Andy Dalton looked like he had never played an NFL game in his life, at least for about the first 2 or 3 quarters. I'm leaning Washington, but because I just think they have. I think Washington can get to Andy Dalton, and Dallas can't stop Helen Keller right now, so I don't know what's going on with them.
I would have never guessed if you had told me at the beginning of the season Dallas at Washington Week 7 would be a pick'em game. I would have never guessed that. I know Washington's at home, but I still think Dallas is the better team. So I would definitely lean towards Dallas, even with Andy Dalton and how bad they looked on Monday night.
Yeah, Zeke played his worst game of his career last week. Like 2 fumbles in the first half. They pulled him out early for Tony Pollard.
He's been awful. He can't hold on to the ball. I don't know why. He just can't hold on to the ball. I can't go against Dallas in this situation. It's hard as a pick 'em.
We're just so for those that don't know, we probably should tell them. They don't know what does pick 'em mean. Pick 'em mean it just means they're nobody's a favorite. You're just picking the winner straight up, and so that's what pick 'em means. If for those that might not know, yeah, this might be my Dallas Cowboys hatred coming out in me. So I'm going to go Washington. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Chase Young on the outside for the defensive end, and I think that Washington pulls off "quote unquote" an upset.
I'm going to go Washington too. It's a morning game. Dallas has to travel all the way over to the East Coast. I don't trust Zeke.
No. I will say if Washington wins this, the NFC East will get even more interesting because I said in like week 2 or week 3, whoever wins this division is going to win 6 games. They may not even get there if Washington wins this game.
No.
It might be the
So-
old 5-10-1 Philadelphia Eagles that win this division.
So Dylan's Dallas, me and Chris Washington.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. We're all
10
one of
wins,
us is
remember,
gonna-
guys.
one of
Remember
us is
that
gonna
when
get
you're
a
going
win.
against me.
All right. Yep. All right. Let's go to the next one. This one actually, I think, will be a pretty good game. Green Bay looked awful. Aaron Rodgers played the worst game of his career last week at the Fighting Tom Brady's. So this is the Green Bay Packers at Houston Texans. Houston, as everybody probably predicted, started showing signs of life once Bill O'Brien was fired. I think most everybody probably could see that coming, just because that whatever was going on with that was just not working. So it's turned around. I mean, Romeo Crennel is now the interim coach for the 500th time in his career. At least I'm pretty sure, might be a little bit over, but I'm pretty sure it's like 500 times now he's been the interim head coach for a coach. So Green Bay is 3.5-point favorites. This is an interesting game because I think Houston's going to play a lot better now going forward without Bill O'Brien. They did play better last week. Started to put up some numbers. Deshaun Watson decided he wanted to be Deshaun Watson for a change. That was nice to see. I think Green Bay, though, I'm hedging my bets. If Aaron Jones does not play, I am out.
Come on.
I'm
Come
hedging
on.
Can't
Now.
do that.
Oh, okay.
I rolled with the Broncos last week.
All right. I'll do it. I'm going to say Aaron Jones is going to play. I don't think it's really going to matter. I think Green Bay can win without Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. Nobody can tell me otherwise.
I can.
So give me Green Bay minus 3.5.
I don't like this game. I probably won't bet this game in real life, which sucks because Green Bay, Houston, and Seahawks I've literally bet on every week. These have been my 3 teams. So I'm leaning towards the Packers here only because Aaron Rodgers against teams that are under 500 has been dominant. They're also coming off of pretty bad loss. So I would like to see them bounce back here. And I don't like the 0.5. If I'm going to actually bet this, I would buy the 0.5 point, but I will take the Packers minus 3.5 here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers as well. Like I said last week, the Texans are pretty crap against the run. They just let Derrick Henry run 200 on them. Even if Aaron Jones doesn't play, I think Jamal Williams will have a great game as well.
Yeah, Derrick Henry abused people last week. That was gross. That 90-yard touchdown getting up to 23 miles an hour, I think, is what he was running at peak speed. That's stupid. That's just stupid.
Daniel Jones got that fast Thursday night.
He blew a tire. It happens. He's running around. He's going around corner 4 and hit a nail and the tire blew. It happens.
We've all been
sniped.
there. Yeah,
there was definitely a sniper in the stands.
I hope there's a Randy Orton gif coming for that. I really hope.
Now with this game, I will say it's showing about 70% of people being on Green Bay right now, which scares me a little bit because that just makes you think that this game is too easy to bet. Kind of makes you want to bet Houston, but I'm going to stick with Packers.
The half is tough. You can see a 31-28 type game. Something like that. It's the hook could kill us here, but I still think I think Green Bay pulls it out. Aaron Rodgers bounces back. I think it's gonna be more of a shootout though. Aaron Rodgers versus Deshaun Watson should be fun.
Definitely will be. The only thing with Houston is they tend to start slow, much like Philadelphia. And against Green Bay, you just can't do that.
Can't start slow against Aaron Rodgers.
No.
All right, so looks like we're all on the Green Bay train. Green Bay minus 3.5 there.
We all were last week too, and we
that went well for us. Jesus,
I knew that one was going to go downhill as soon as I picked it. I knew it.
Oh, let's talk about that actually. Oh, no, we'll wait until we get to that team. Interesting.
Detroit at Atlanta. Atlanta is 2-point favorites. This is at Atlanta. This is an interesting game. This promises to be a shootout. Atlanta's awful. Detroit's not awful, but I think the only reason why Atlanta's favored is because it's in Atlanta. Do they allow fans at the Mercedes-Benz Dome? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
I do.
It's Georgia. They
I
probably.
imagine they do because I believe Georgia does.
Okay, there you go. A joke there. It's Georgia. They probably do. This is. I'm honestly, I'm not really sure about this game. Man.
Atlanta did blow out Minnesota last week.
I don't want to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to sweep that under the rug. It did not happen.
It happened,
buddy.
It did.
Buddy. That Kirk Cousins contract is looking awfully great, isn't it, right now? Jesus. Give me Atlanta -2 with getting under the table and crying in the process of me doing that.
Okay.
Honestly, if I didn't have to pick this game, I would not touch this game.
The Falcons, I'm never on the right side with the Falcons. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Like, they could be playing Alabama, and the line could be 45. And Bama would find some way to stay within that line. And like, I'm just never on the right side of Atlanta, but I like Detroit here. So good news for you. So maybe you'll be on the right side, but I'm never on the right side of Atlanta. I don't trust this pick, but I do think Detroit's the better team. I want to root for Detroit. I want them to be good. I don't know why Matt Patricia's still the head coach, because they have a good team, yet they blow games. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm just gonna pick Atlanta just because of Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. I don't trust either of these teams though. It can go either way.
I know this isn't
you never know what Detroit Lions you're gonna get. Is the thing.
No,
the same thing with Atlanta as well. You never know which team's gonna show up.
I know you guys. This isn't a college football podcast, but did you guys see the Syracuse Clemson line for this week?
I did not.
It was like Clemson.
46,
it was
49.
Clemson -46.
Jeez, what?
They ended up winning 47-14. But because a part of that is because they beat Georgia Tech 73-7 last week, and it could have been worse than that. But yeah, 46. That was like, oh
my God.
How bad the ACC is.
That was that Florida State Clemson game in a few weeks is not going to be fun. Maybe Clemson will get COVID. I don't know. So yep, I got Atlanta -2. This is a one eye open, one eye closed kind of thing. 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Atlanta. So all right, we all Atlanta on that one.
Yep,
I'm going to Detroit.
You're going to Detroit. Okay. Detroit.
Yep.
All right. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. This one's not going to be fun to watch
this week, so I got to pick a dog here and there.
This one's not going to be fun to watch. The New York Jets are tanking for Trevor. They are all in on Trevor Lawrence. It's a race to the finish line.
Pretty sad.
Between them and the entire NFC East. The rule almost always is always take a double-digit dog because it's the NFL. But I'm not sure the New York Jets could beat Alabama. Well, they could, but I'm not you always say NFL team will clobber. New York Jets are so bad. They're just a special kind of awful. Buffalo has a good defense. They've got a pretty good offense. The running game's but I'm afraid Josh Allen might throw a few picks to keep them in this game that they shouldn't be. 13.5 is a big number in the NFL. It's a really big number. But I can't give I cannot pick the New York Jets under any circumstances. Give me Buffalo minus 13.5.
Jeez.
On the website I use, I actually have Buffalo minus 10, which I would take. Now that I see 13.5 out there, it makes me second guess myself. Like you said, that double point dog. But the Bills have had 2 letdown losses back to back. The Jets are really bad. I think Josh Allen goes out there and throws for 300 yards. I think they score 30 points easily. And I don't see the Jets scoring, even with
14.
the Bills' defense being banged up as much as they are. I don't see the Bills covering that line. If the Jets cover that line, excuse me, if Buffalo scores like I think they're going to.
If Buffalo gets to 30, they will cover. Then I'm almost positive Buffalo will get to 30.
So I don't know if the Jets let fans in the stadium, but if they do, this is going to be a home game for Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually going to pick New York to cover just because the Bills let the Rams come back like a 30-point deficit and almost lost that game.
The Rams have talent, though.
That's true. I just feel 13.5 points. I think I'm going to go with Jets.
The only thing this year is Buffalo is every game's been close, regardless of how much they've been up on somebody. So that does.
If you can find, like you said, New York Jets minus 10, I might be tempted to take the Jets. 13.5 is a bigger number that I'm not willing to completely do. So yeah, I think. But the peek behind the curtain, I get these lines on Tuesday afternoon. So it could have changed. It probably has. 13. Most people are inclined to bet double-digit dogs in the NFL. Just the odds say that it's tough to beat somebody by that many points in the NFL. It is the NFL after all. But yeah, the New York Jets are really bad this year. They're tanking. They have no interest in trying to win. So give me Buffalo minus 13.5.
Also on the Bills here.
All right.
So 2 on the Bills and 1 on the fighting New York Jets. This one's actually going to be really interesting. This is at New Orleans. So what you were saying is that you saw this line as the same. I was shocked it was when Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas were ruled out. It's still you still had it at New Orleans minus 7.5. I thought it for sure would have gone down to maybe even 6. But if you saw it New Orleans at 7.5, that I don't. This is gonna be Breeze and Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. So, Carolina's actually decent this year. Everybody was throwing them under the bus. They lost Christian McCaffrey early. Everybody was like, what is Carolina doing? They're doing all this, that, and the other. But they've actually, I think they're not awful. And their defense is pretty decent. Their front seven's not bad. Give me Carolina plus 7.5. Why not?
Carolina.
Yep. I like the hook. I could see a 31-24 game. New Orleans defense is, by the way, not very good. I have a great friend of mine who is a huge New Orleans Saints fan, and every single game he rips the defense up and down. So yeah, give me Carolina. I think Carolina can get to a 31-24 game and get that hook for me.
So I find this line pretty disrespectful to the Panthers. I think they're better than that. And New Orleans is not that good, especially with all the injuries they dealt with. Drew Brees being 100 years old, not good anymore. I am also going to take the Panthers. They've been in every game that they played I mean, they competed with the Bucks. They competed with the Raiders. They're 3-3 this season, so they're still in that division. They can win that division, I think, personally. I don't know Bucks getting Antonio Brown, how that's going to work out, but I definitely see. I could even see the Panthers winning this game. Everyone has this illusion that New Orleans doesn't lose at the Mercedes Dome.
They do.
They do. And everyone just has that whole Katrina game in their mind on Monday Night Football, and it's not the same, especially considering they're not at full capacity on fans. So I like Carolina, especially with that hook. I'll take them plus 7.5 all day.
So last week, you guys convinced me to take Carolina, and it didn't work out for me. The same thing happened this week, so I had New Orleans just because
we're on the Carolina train. We're all in on Carolina.
I had New Orleans because of Alvin Kamara, best running back in the league, and then I just swapped it to Carolina because they do stay in games. But that Chicago Carolina game was so messy.
Yeah. Carolina plays a messy game.
Yeah, they fumbled the ball, and then Foles threw an interception, and then Teddy Bridgewater threw an interception. It was rough.
So they are at the Superdome because there was talk as of like a week and a half ago that they were going to move their games to Baton Rouge, I think, or somewhere else because of the ordinances that have been put on in Louisiana for indoor stadium. But I think they've figured something out, and I think at the time they are the only team in the NFC East or NFC South that does not allow fans. I think that's true. Carolina does, Atlanta does, Tampa Bay does. So I think that might be true that they were the only team that, and I think that was probably the problem, is that they were seeing themselves at a disadvantage. But I think they've gotten something, and they're going to allow at least 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000, I think. But they are going to play there in the Superdome. This is going to be a big Alvin Kamara game, and there's a little, something that not many people are talking about, but it's starting to come on. Drew Brees is done.
Oh yeah,
he's done.
He is done.
Yeah, for sure.
It hurts to watch him throw a football. Like it hurts.
Just time to hand over the reins to Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Let's let it roll. Everyone wants to see it.
That was a great move by them, though.
Yes, because I said, when they made that, I was like, Jameis is their future. They will go all in on Jameis, and they will free up a lot of money whenever Drew Brees is done, and they can figure out something on defense. But they need to get rid of Taysom Hill. I don't know why they keep that. That is not working. It's not working this year like it was last year. Like every time he gets in, something bad happens. It's crazy.
Scored a touchdown last week.
But Drew Brees is done. Give me Carolina plus 7.5. All right, this next game is again probably changed since the news of Joe Mixon being out, and it being Gio Bernard. Which, by the way, if you play DraftKings or FanDuel, Gio Bernard is like, I think I got him at 4,600 in my DraftKings, and he is going to get a lot of carries and a lot of receiving. He's always been a receiving threat, but it's either going to be him or Pirine, I think. Samaje Pirine, I think that's right. For Cincinnati there. Kareem Hunt is the running back for Cleveland. I have no idea what's going on with Baker Mayfield. He might just not be any good. I don't understand.
Aaron Jones is out, by the way.
Oh.
He's not officially rolled out, but he's not expected to play.
Look at us breaking news. We are Adam Schefter here on the sportscasters on TRHS.
Changing my fantasy team now.
Yep, yeah, we'll be doing that after this game is after we're done with this. But all right, time to take that up. All right, who Jamal Williams?
Jamal
AJ.
Williams is still great. AJ Dillon too.
Which I didn't understand that pick.
Jamal Williams is going to get a normal load, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
AJ Dillon will take over for
a running back only has so many miles on their tires, and Boston College, as they should have, because that's all they had, ran AJ Dillon into the ground. So I was like, "Oh, you're gonna take AJ Dillon, are you? All right, that's interesting."
In the second round with no wide receivers.
Yeah, after they took a quarterback in the first round. Yep.
You guys still want Green Bay?
I'm still on Green Bay.
I'll still on Green Bay.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't have any potato chips on that game, but I'll still Green Bay on this.
Houston's secondary is bad. Devontae Adams is back.
Yeah.
I'll still take Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Jamal Williams will have a game.
Prove I'm still the best quarterback in the league game.
Nah.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Nah.
It's either him or Russell Wilson, but
Yep.
Well, okay.
I love Russell. I love
Pat
Russell
Mahomes
Wilson.
is still in the league, guys. Come on.
Eh.
Pat Mahomes, he's good. He's really good. He's top 3.
Top 2. Probably number 1.
He's not. No.
He's not.
Okay.
You could put Russell Wilson on Kansas City with all those, and you would put in insane numbers. All right, Cleveland at Cincinnati. At Cincinnati, Cleveland is 3.5-point favorites. We went off the rails. This is that's going to happen. I'm just letting you know. I have ADD. So 3.5. I really don't like that hook.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, because I really don't want to pick Baker Mayfield in this. I really don't want to.
I'm not picking Baker Mayfield, but I'm taking Cleveland with Kareem Hunt and OBJ and Jarvis Landry. I picked Cincinnati last week to cover, and they did, but Joe Burrow is out there trying to carry that whole team, but he can't. I feel bad for him.
This seems like the easiest line in the world. I know I've been last week. I was dead set against Cleveland. I think they are frauds. I don't think they're as good as their record is, and I think the Steelers prove that. But the Steelers blow the Browns out every year, every time they play them. That's what happens. But Cincinnati is bad. Like Cleveland, I don't think is a good team, but they're not bad.
No,
they have players. They have a good defense and they have a good run game. Even with as bad as Baker Mayfield is, I don't understand why people ever thought he was good, but he's not. I actually saw a stat today, and it was Mitchell Trubisky right next to Baker Mayfield.
I saw the same thing.
The fact that people are getting
that'll hurt your feelings.
Trubisky is getting benched, and Baker Mayfield's over here, the face of the franchise. It just doesn't make any sense.
Every commercial under the sun, he is so annoying on Sundays. Every single commercial is him. I can't stand it. I'm like, man,
I'm taking Cleveland here. I think this line is too easy, which makes me want to take the Bengals. But I'm taking Cleveland here. There's no reason they shouldn't cover that. No reason.
Yeah, Cleveland blew out Dallas too. I don't think Cincinnati, if they get down, they're not going to get back into it.
All right, I'm going to go with you guys. Give me Cleveland minus 3.5. I will come and haunt you guys if I'm wrong on this. All right, next game promises to be a doozy. This might be the game of the day. Might be the game of the week. Pittsburgh at Tennessee. This is going to be an old-fashioned football game. Tennessee is a really good defensive team. Derrick Henry is a juggernaut. What is this? The immovable force or whatever they call that. Whatever they call that. I think that's what this is going to be. Pittsburgh -2. This is at Tennessee. Oh,
Basically picking a winner.
pretty much. I mean, Steven Gostkowski has not been very good for Tennessee. If he was anybody but Steven Gostkowski, he might have been benched already. But he missed the field goal last week. It was awful in week 1. He hasn't been bad in the weeks between that, but I'm gonna take Ben Roethlisberger over Ryan Tannehill at the end of the day. Give me Pittsburgh -2.
I feel like both of these teams should be disrespected by this line. And I think we're actually going to find out who is the legit undefeated team and who is up there with the Bills and the Chiefs and the teams that have actually proved that they are a good team. Because I'm not sold on either of these teams. I'm a little bit sold on Pittsburgh because I've been on them since the beginning of the season. I do think they're a top 5, top 3 team in the AFC because of their defense. But their offense is, it's the same thing the Steelers have always been. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And they rely on their defense to win them games. So I'm going to go Pittsburgh because I still don't believe in Tennessee. Didn't believe in them last year. They proved me wrong, but I still don't believe in them. I don't trust in Ryan Tannehill. I should have never got rid of Marcus Mariota. As an Oregon fan, that's what I believe. And I'm going to stick to it unless they beat Pittsburgh this week. Then I will finally believe in the Titans are real.
I really want Tennessee to win this game. I love Derrick Henry. That guy's an animal. But that Pittsburgh defense allows some of the least yards per rush. I'll take Pittsburgh. It's a win-win for me.
All right. I like it. This is officially the fighting Tampa Brady's. Tom Brady is running this program. He is the coach, the GM, the owner, the quarterback, and also the person that makes the popcorn there at RJ. Because they have signed Antonio Brown. And I'm just going to let you know that living here in Tallahassee, we have a lot of Buccaneers that live around here. Obviously,
Buccaneers, I like that.
Buccaneers, yes, absolutely.
Never heard that.
Yes, Buccaneers. Jameis Winston obviously being the quarterback, that ramped that up a little bit. A lot of the reactions that I got and saw when they signed Antonio Brown was that they were out. They're done. We're done. We're done. I don't think this is gonna go well. Tampa Brady. Yeah, there we go. Tampa Bay is Super Bowl or bust. That's what they are. That is, everything else is a failure. I don't care what you say. You are signing Rob Gronkowski. You're signing Tom Brady. You're signing Antonio Brown.
Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette, LaShawn McCoy. I mean, this is the retirement home in Tampa Bay. It's what it is. I mean, every one of those players that I just mentioned, except maybe Leonard Fournette, maybe
they have one foot out the door.
This is their last stop. Every one of them. Tom Brady will not play for another team. Neither will Rob Gronkowski. Antonio Brown will not play for another team. Sorry. LaShawn McCoy
is back and is good.
Yeah, but even he'll do or say something just ridiculously stupid. And then LaShawn McCoy, he's on his last legs. I mean, this is literally they are Super Bowl or bust. They are at Las Vegas. Tampa Bay has notoriously not been very good going across the country. So this is at Las Vegas. which by the way is a beautiful stadium. As I can't wait for fans to be in there. That's a beautiful stadium they have in Las Vegas. I saw that being built several years ago. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna buy though that Tampa Bay wins this game -3. I could see them winning by 6 or 7.
You're a Raiders fan. What do you think?
As soon as you said that, you're like, hey.
As a Raiders fan, I've watched every Raiders game this season.
They're fighting John Gruden's.
Raiders are legit, and
they're good. John Jacobs really good.
No, they had a bad game against the Patriots, but then they came back and had a good game next week. And so it's them coming off of a bye, Tampa Bay coming off a big win. The Raiders at home, they're 1-1 at home, but that loss to the Bills, they played really well. Had that game won, had they not fumbled 3 times in the fourth quarter. And so Las Vegas is going to win this game. I would bet the money line. Obviously, going to take the points here because you never know what's going to happen.
What is the status of the offensive linemen that were in quarantine?
They were cleared today. They're cleared to play today. The only person on their team that is not 100% cleared, I believe, is Jonathan Abram because he had COVID on Tuesday.
He had COVID on Tuesday. He ain't playing.
Well, the lineman had it on Monday, so I just don't see how that works.
Unless they tested negative.
Yeah, they tested negative like a couple times.
But he's the only one that's not cleared, which is a big loss because he's the only person that can tackle anybody on that defense.
That's a problem in football. It's a problem. It's not flat. Unless you're playing Tom Brady, then it is played flat.
Although he also injures every one of his own players too. So is there really that big of a loss? I mean, literally every time I see the guy make a tackle, he's tackling one of his own teammates. So
that's not how it works.
He plays at 100 miles per hour and he can't slow down.
I'm taking
definitely got the Raiders here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders too to win. They had a big win before their bye with the Chiefs. They got some rest. They're playing at home. Tampa Bay's coming off a really good win. I think the Raiders with the upset here.
I
don't think it should be I don't think it should be an upset either.
This game being not primetime anymore is upsetting because Derek Carr is one of the best primetime quarterbacks in the league. Even though probably people don't realize it, but if you go back and look at all his primetime games, the guy he dominates in primetime.
Was that Chiefs game in primetime?
No,
it's Seattle, Arizona.
Oh no, the Chiefs Raiders game a couple weeks back.
Oh
no, the only primetime game they've had was the Saints.
All right, so I'm the only one that's picking the fight in Tom Brady's.
Yep.
Awesome. Why do
More importantly, over or under 2 games for Antonio Brown.
Over.
I'm going under. 1 game he's done.
First
week of practice, he's probably done.
I so hope you're right. I really do.
I hope you are too, because I really wanted Antonio Brown on the Seahawks.
I want Tampa Bay. I want Tampa Bay to crash them.
They kind of sucker punched me yesterday, I guess, but
still all right. Antonio Brown.
That's hurtful. Next one, San Francisco 49ers at the New England Patriots. You can't go much farther across the country than this one. New England's -2.5. And I know why they're favorites, because San Francisco hasn't looked good in the past couple of games at all. But something scared me when I watched them play last week, New England Patriots. Cam Newton started looking like Cam Newton in his last 2 years in Carolina. Like, I'm not sure what that was. So that scared the daylights out of me. I'm tempted to take San Francisco +2.5, though. I'm very tempted to do that.
I'm
No
thinking
Raheem
so too.
No Raheem Mostert for San Francisco, by the way.
I know Tom Brady obviously not there anymore, but I mean, when's the last time New England has lost 2 games in a row? I believe it's been since 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that true?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
That's
I could
really
be wrong
good.
on that stat, but I believe it's been 2006.
That's ridiculous if that's true.
It's still New England, regardless of whether Tom Brady is there or not. This seems like the easiest line in the world. 2.5, I think, is disrespectful, even with how bad New England played. I mean, New England wasn't able to practice for 2 weeks. So I don't know how much of a toll that mattered, but I think it had some effect to that Broncos game. And so I think, like the Cleveland game, this line is just too easy, which scares me. But I have to take New England here because I don't think San Francisco is that good.
I'm going to take. I don't think either of these teams are that good. I think Cam Newton's still recovering from COVID, even though he probably doesn't have it. George Kittle, he played really good last week. That's probably why I'll take San Francisco plus 2.5.
Yeah, like I said, whatever I saw from Cam Newton scared the daylights out of me last week. He looked like the Cam Newton that I saw the last few years. Like he had that funky arm. I mean, he always had a funky arm motion, but he had something really funny going on with, and it looked a lot very similar to what he did in Carolina those past 2 years. That scares me because then he's not any good. He's just another quarterback.
More importantly, do you trust Jimmy G to have 2 good games back to back?
I'm gonna take San Francisco plus 2.5. I'm doing it. And I think they might win the game outright.
Dylan, you're going New England.
I'm going New England.
See, we're different on the Las Vegas and Tampa Bay game. Yeah, we're on the same difference here on San Francisco, New England. I think San Francisco's will beat New England straight out.
I really want Patriots to win because I hate the 49ers, but I don't see them losing.
A peek behind the curtain for this next game, Kansas City at Denver. Kansas City is a 9.5-point favorite. I just looked at the weather for Denver because I'm a weather geek like that. 23 degrees with a 90% chance of snow. Winter storm warning there in Denver for tomorrow. If you like watching crazy football games, this might be your game. If Patrick Mahomes had some bad luck these past couple games, like that Buffalo game was rainy and cold and miserable, and now he's going to go play in Denver where it's probably going to be snowing. That's not going to be fun to do. And people that rip Patrick Mahomes for whatever reason will pop on this and completely ignore the weather. So yeah, whatever the over under is, I'd probably take the under on this. But Denver seems to be locked in on Drew Lock. I don't see why. I like Kansas City here. They ran the ball great against Buffalo. So give me Kansas City minus 9.5. That's a big number though. Goodness gracious. Kansas City minus 9.5. Give it to me.
Kansas, that is a big number, especially after you just saw what Denver did last week. I mean, they just beat a team with straight field goals, which is impressive.
6 or 7 field goals from your field goal kicker in fantasy will either really hurt your feelings or throw yourself a parade.
Yeah. Very frustrated when you actually bet on the Broncos, too. When you watch them march down the field every time and just kick a field goal. It's like, at what point is the other team going to go down and score? Luckily, that didn't happen. I actually like that you told me about that weather. That makes me feel better about Kansas City. Because Kansas City, obviously it's kind of in the South, but it's like right on that line of they still get very cold weather and they get snow quite often during football season. And so I know Pat Mahomes hasn't been in the league a long time, but I think he's played a few games with snow. Could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that stat of how he does in snow games, but I'm gonna trust the Super Bowl champs here. Take them minus 9.5.
Yeah, I have a prediction. If it snows, Tyreek Hill's going to go down a streak. Cornerback's going to trip, and he's just going to catch it and go all the way into the end zone.
I could see that happening.
You'd think the snow would benefit Denver, but I don't think it will.
Le'Veon Bell is supposed to play it, correct? I think he's good to go. So that can change things as well. I don't know what the plan is with that because Clyde Edwards hasn't been bad. But my guess is Le'Veon Bell is going to take receiving responsibilities.
Yeah, having Le'Veon Bell just helps that case, though, for me picking Kansas City.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. I get why they signed Le'Veon Bell. If he takes carries away from Edwards-Helaire, though, that is dumb. Sorry.
I don't.
Clyde's their future, though.
Clyde's their future, and with running backs these days, it's not like you have to have a bell cow anymore. Like, and not only that, is Le'Veon still Le'Veon?
No.
Or was he really just not good? Because I think the Jets may just suck and they didn't use him right.
Yep.
That could also be true, but I'm not sure Le'Veon has anything left in the tank. It's been 3 years now since he played for Pittsburgh? 3 years?
3 years.
I still think he could have just been coasting too. He got that paycheck. Now he ain't got that paycheck.
He's not better.
He's not go get him another one.
He's not better than Edwards-Helaire now. Sorry. Yeah. So give me Kansas City minus 9.5. All right. Next game. Jacksonville at the Superchargers. Chargers are minus 7.5 here. Once again, Jacksonville. This is a lot of games that are going across the country. Goodness gracious. Justin Herbert. We got to talk about how good he is because I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming. I will be perfectly honest with you. Man, he is fun to watch. Chargers are a pretty good football team. Austin Eckler's still out though, but Jacksonville is also in the tanking for Justin Fields game. It's a fight to see who gets Justin Fields, who gets the kid from North Dakota State, and who gets the kid who gets Trevor Lawrence. Those are the three quarterbacks. Those kids will go 1, 2, 3 in the draft unless somebody does something really stupid, like the Philadelphia Eagles are known to do apparently. Chargers here. I'm gonna keep riding Justin Herbert until that train rolls off the tracks. Jacksonville, that's not gonna go well traveling literally across the country. Again, you can't get much farther than Jacksonville and LA. So give me the Chargers minus 7.5. That's a big number though.
I do think Justin Herbert is good. And I said he was going to be the best quarterback coming out of that draft. A little bit of a homer there, though, being an Oregon fan. But actually watching him play, you could tell he has it. Like, he's got that big arm. He's got the IQ. He's going to make mistakes because he just does. He makes throws that he shouldn't make, and he's going to throw picks. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that do that and still get wins. I don't like the hook here because even though Jacksonville's bad and they're tanking, they seem to be in games every week.
They don't know how to tank correctly.
The players
They
don't
are-
want to tank, but
Yeah, they're
everybody
very
else
bad
does.
at tanking. Very bad. Not good at tanking. I wish they would throw the ball to DJ Chark a little more. That for sure. I just don't like that hook, but I'm gonna have to roll with the Chargers here. The Chargers haven't blown anyone out, which scares me.
Chargers have only won one game.
Yeah, that's also true. But they're good. Well, I mean, are they good? Makes you wonder.
I mean, Justin
They're
Herbert hasn't
3-1
won a
and 1
game
against the
yet.
spread. 3-1
The
and
only-
1 against the
yeah.
spread, though.
The only
So-
game the Chargers have won is the Bengals, against the Bengals. Justin Herbert didn't even play that game. Even though I think Justin Herbert's better than Tyrod Taylor, I'm still picking the Chargers. I just want Justin Herbert to get his first win. That's all. That's really the only reason why.
I mean, Chargers are gonna win this game. I just don't know if they cover 7.5.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take Chargers 7.5.
I think I picked Jacksonville last week. Yeah, I did. So I'll take Chargers. Jacksonville screwed me last week.
Yeah, I mean, if Detroit can blow out Jacksonville, surely the Chargers can.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.5. The hook scares me, but I'm all in on Justin Herbert. That kid's really good. Did not see it coming. You did. I didn't. So yeah, give me the Chargers minus 7.5. So the next one is the flex has now been flexed to 8:00 Sunday Night Football, NBC, thanks to the Las Vegas Raiders and their COVID concerns. They wanted to make sure they had a Sunday night game, so that's why this game has now been flexed in. I think this is probably a more entertaining game than the Raiders and the Buccaneers. Kyler Murray sneakily has not been very good, even though they boat raced Dallas, but I think that a lot of people are going to do that to Dallas. Seattle minus 3.5. Honestly, I think that number should be bigger. You're going to like that, by the way. Even though Seattle's defense is not very good, Kyler Murray hasn't been very good in a couple weeks now. He was, for the most part of the game, if not the entire game, he was below 50% passing against Dallas, and Dallas can't stop anybody. The game looks a lot bigger thanks to two throws, one throw to Christian Kirk, and then a big run where Dallas just gave up against Kenyon Drake. But give me Seattle minus 3.5 here. I'm surprised the number's not bigger.
But I feel like the line should be a lot bigger. I think it should be at least a touchdown. But
Yeah,
I'm actually happy that it's not, because Seattle Arizona games are always close. And I'm guessing that's why the line is like it is, because they just know that it's always close. But Russell Wilson's very good coming off of a bye. I think he's like 6-1 or something like that.
And no Chandler Jones, by the way. No Chandler Jones for Arizona.
Ooh, that's big.
That's also big. And I just don't think Arizona's very good. The only thing that scares me is Seattle's defense. But Seattle's offense is so good that I don't think there's any. The only thing I'm scared about is that hook. I could see Seattle winning by 3, because Arizona's plan is going to be to grind it out, take about as much time off as they can on the clock, so Russell Wilson doesn't have the ball in his hands.
Chandler Jones had a season-ending surgery last week, so he's done for the year.
DeAndre Hopkins is questionable as well. He might be ready to play, but he was marked as questionable.
I think he'll play. He played the whole game last week. Maybe got hurt for a few plays there, but he was on the field in the game there.
I like Seattle. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be like the ending. It's going to be a 4-point differential, which I'll probably take Seattle too. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, really good. Russell Wilson, best quarterback in the NFL. Our defense
we can have an entire podcast on that.
Oh yeah. Seattle's defense isn't the best, but they make stops when they absolutely need to. That's why I think it's going to be a close game.
I'm also taking Seattle.
We're all saying Seattle. God, no.
If it was Seattle -7, like you guys said, I would take Arizona.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Seattle -6. That's honestly what I thought the line was going to be. Maybe 5.5, 6. And when I saw 3.5, I was like, jump on it now, please.
I wish we would blow any team out. That would be amazing for me. I'd love that.
This might be your week. No Chandler Jones. Kyler Murray struggled lately. I know Seattle's defense is not very good. Russell Wilson, one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the league. Is Chris Carson playing?
Yep.
Chris Carson's playing. Obviously, like you said, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett on the outside. Their offense is loaded. They've done a really good job of drafting and developing players there in Seattle. It wasn't too long ago that people were saying, they were, signing all those defensive players and they didn't know what they're going to do for offensive players, and they figured it out with Chris Carson, guys like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett still there. So
yeah, it was
hit and miss there for a minute. They didn't have anybody, but now they've got things rolling. Give me Seattle -3.5. I think we're all on the Seattle train here.
I don't like that.
All right, guys. Last game of the night here. Do this a little bit quicker. We're at 57 minutes here. Chicago at the LA Rams. Again, man, teams are traveling across the country. Craziness. Rams -5.5. I refuse to pick Nick Foles. He's awful. Sorry. Give me the Rams -5.5. Aaron Donald and crew, Jalen Ramsey, Cooper Kupp, and that crew. Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson there in LA. They will take care of business. Give me the Rams. They'll probably win by 7 or 8.
I'm also going to be on the Rams solely because every time I see the Rams play in primetime, it feels like Aaron Donald just has a monster game. I mean, he has a monster game every game, so that's why I think that. But it's just like if the announcers can talk about Aaron Donald, they will. And in primetime games, I think he ends up having 3 sacks in this game. And if he has any sort of impact like that, Rams win this game by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm picking the Rams to win it as well. I don't trust Nick Foles. Like I said last week, he's thrown an interception in every game. If he throws one this game, he's going to lose. I really want the Rams to lose this game, being a Seahawks homer, but I don't see it happening.
I don't know who he's going to be able to throw to on that secondary. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's going to shut down Allen Robinson. So it's
Jalen Ramsey does not care about your feelings, and I love that about Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. Chicago's not going to be able to pass the ball. They can't run the ball. I would take the under in this game. I can tell you that for sure. I don't know what the over-under is, but I would take it.
They've had a sneakily the LA Rams have had a good bounce back here. They're 4-2 right now. A win today this week would make them 5-2. Last year we were talking about how the Rams might be done, but like their window had closed, but they've opened it back up, and they're having a really good year. 4-2 right now. Hopefully 5-2 after this week. Well, hope not for you, but hopefully 5-2 and get Chicago. I think that'll do it for us. We all got the Rams this week. Rams -5.5.
Do you guys want to predict how Tua's going to do?
That next week, though? He doesn't play this
That's
week.
next week, yeah, but
I won't be here. Tua's going to struggle early. He's going to struggle early.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, that was Ryan Fitzpatrick's job. I
don't know why they did that there. I don't know why they did.
They did him dirty.
I guess they were doing. I guess they had played
playing that
the whole time with the bye week, but
I know the numbers. The numbers say otherwise, but he wasn't as good as his numbers.
They still had a chance to win the division. I guess they were playing this the whole time with the bye week, no matter what Ryan Fitzpatrick was doing. So, I mean, yeah, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been awful. I'm not sure he's going to be better than Ryan Fitzpatrick, at least early. But I'm a huge Tua fan. Love Tua.
Me too.
Yeah.
I
They
hope he
also
does
could have
great.
saw something we
Honestly,
didn't in
great pick.
practice too. So
Maybe. So, yep, that's the hour mark. So we've done a pretty good job here. Tyler, Gillen, thank you guys again for joining me.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, that'll do it for week 7. Those two will be back week 8. I will not. I'll be celebrating Halloween with Mickey and Minnie. Make sure you guys thank a sailor, thank a soldier, thank a Coast Guard member, thank a first responder, thank a truck driver, thank a hospital worker. They are the reason why we are able to do what we do every single day. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.